Okay, so if you have repetitive thought loops, negative patterns, negative things that you're thinking in your head, here's how we're going to deal with this. First of all, if you were my client and we were working one-on-one, I would do a pattern interrupt on you, which would be a very quick process that we would just make it so that you just couldn't think those things anymore. But since we can't do that, we're going to do a little exercise here. So I want you to, for a moment here, think about that negative thought, whatever it is that you would regularly tell yourself. So like maybe there's several. And you're going to just think about them. So like just like imagine them written out in a sentence in your head, like on a blackboard. So imagine that. Okay, and then I want you to imagine yourself reading this to your younger self, like your little, 4 or 5-year-old self, and telling them that thing about themselves, like, you're stupid, or you're, whatever the horrible thing is that you're telling yourself about. Now, the reason why you're going to do this is because when you do this, you're going to understand that, like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that to myself. And then you'll understand that the reason why you don't want to do that to yourself is because you actually do love yourself. Because that little you that you don't want to say that to, or that you're like, I don't want to do that to you, you love them. Because they're you. And you're them. And for some reason, we have this age distortion that goes on. And it tells us that for some reason, it's not okay for us to hate our little selves, but it's okay for us to hate our older selves. Like at some point, like, once you get to this age, then for some reason at some point now you can start to hate yourself. Because you'll see that you yourself are the ones who put the guidelines on it, right? Because it's different for every person. For some people, perhaps they were, born this way. And, for some of us, it's imposed at a later date. But when you realize that you are, in fact, indeed your little younger self, that version of yourself, you begin to develop more compassion for yourself. So doing this in a meditative state, taking yourself down into that meditative process, and doing this at that level, this exercise, writing those things down even beforehand, or just imagining them up on a chalkboard, and then destroying them with your younger self. And so, you can let them do that. Take them off the chalkboard, do whatever it is, and then you're going to write something new that's more truthful, that's more honest. And so here's how you know, because the truth will set you free, my darling. It'll feel like freedom. So when you believe something, these negative thoughts, we get in these negative thought loops, and they feel a certain way, right? How they feel is untruthful. This is why they feel so horrible, and disgusting and awful, because they are. Because they're the farthest thing from the truth, because they're fear-based thoughts. If I'm not good enough, what am I fearing? I'm fear that I'm not worthy of, this, of the love, or whatever. And so, that's it. It's really that simple. And as we fix these little personal issues, then now all this energy that was wasted on those negative thought loops is now freed up. And so now you can use it to create more magical, wonderful, beautiful things in your life. So thank you for asking. And I hope that you do this little exercise and give me some feedback. Let me know how it goes for you. Love you. Thank you. See you next time.